Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you guys are watching this. My name is Ryan over at Magnum Sports, and today we're going to be doing a product review on the Smith and Wesson Equalizer TS. But before we get going with that, let's go ahead, if you would, hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell. That way you guys can be notified of any future videos that Magnum Sports puts out there for you. So without further ado, the Smith and Wesson Equalizer TS. We're going to go ahead and clear out this firearm. The firearm is indeed clear. So there are some major things when I first got my hands on this pistol that I really enjoyed about it. It's a sharp looking gun, and in addition to it being a sharp looking polymer pistol, I wasn't so sure about some of the safeties they had incorporated with this particular firearm, but after handling it a little bit, I've learned to really love the platform. We'll start from the top and kind of work our way down the grip. So first and foremost, all of these Smith & Wesson Equalizers are coming optics ready. So you guys will be able to put an optic, on this gun at any given point if you so choose to do so. Other than that, there's nothing crazy sexy like about these sights. It's a standard 3-dot, white 3-dot sight system. Your barrel length on this particular firearm is going to be about 3.67 inches, okay? And the overall weight of the gun is going to come in just shy of 23 ounces unloaded. But one of the big things really stood out to me right out the gate was how aggressive Smith & Wesson got with their actual slide serrations in the front and the rear of the gun. On a hot range day, or if you have clammy hands or anything like that, and let's be real, in high stress situations, we tend to perspirate a lot more. These serrations are super aggressive and super easy to get your hands on. So I really like the change they made there, okay? The sight radius is pretty long, considering it is a subcompact gun, and this will give you obviously less magnification of human air, a little bit more of an accurate pistol. Other than that, as we move down, I will say one thing I've always hated about Smith & Wesson is their safety systems. But for the first time, I think this one kind of met my needs as a carry gun. So I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I most certainly enjoyed it because I shoot 2011s regularly. And the mechanics between most polymer pistols and 2011s are very different, where this gun is actually more similar than a lot of other polymer guns out there. So this being the TS, and then you have the NTS, which TS I assume means thumb safety, and NTS means no thumb safety, right? So if we look right here, we have an ambidextrous thumb safety on both sides of the firearm. I will say it doesn't feel like a quality part, okay? It's kind of clanky. There's a lot of like being able to push it after it's locked into position. It's kind of spongy. But the reason I like this is because it keeps my mechanics between my competition guns and my carry guns very, very similar. I know that I always have to activate that safety. So, you know, for me, I really enjoy that, not having to change my thought process after the draw stroke, right? Also, I think the beaver tail safety that Smith & Wesson did on the Equalizer is far superior to some of the models previously put out by Smith & Wesson. If we look, I have another Smith & Wesson Easy 9 sitting here. We'll clear out this one as well. Looks good. You guys can see how big and bulky and crazy this is in the back. Very sharp edges on their safety. As I get my grip, I never feel like it's meant to sit in my palm the way it should with a high firm pistol grip. It's always fighting me, and you guys can see as I compress the safety back here, I still have, you know, nothing shy of 1/4 of an inch to upwards of, you know, over 1/2 an inch of safety hanging out there, and it's just not comfy. It doesn't feel right. If we look at the Equalizer, it actually presses considerably farther, a lot farther into the grip itself. In addition, like if I just picked up this gun with the safety already depressed, I would never know there's a safety there. So I really like the safety on the backside of the Equalizer quite a bit, especially in comparison to some of Smith and Wesson's older models. So this is great. Also, they've done a little bit with their grip texturing. The ergonomics of the grip have changed just a little bit. It's fairly comfortable in the hand. But in addition to that, they did this tack grip. It's almost like a sandpaper grip, and it's fairly comfortable, and it grips quite well. I don't foresee myself having an issue on the range, especially with that 15 round mag whatsoever, as far as being able to obtain and hang on to the gun for a good solid pistol grip. So all things considered, I think Smith & Wesson kind of hit this one out of the park. If it was me, I would buy the TS just because I do shoot 2011 so often. But if you're not that type of shooter and you've been shooting Glock for a long time, like maybe you would go with the NTS series, so you didn't have to think about that secondary safety or that thumb safety in this case. So the trigger on this particular firearm is pretty good. I would compare it to Smith & Wesson's earlier performance center models. It's a pretty decent trigger. So we got a little bit of take up. I don't know if you guys can see it, a little bit of take up, and then it breaks pretty dang clean. There's a little bit of sponginess in it. I will say the reset is pretty far out there. There we go, reset. But again, a little bit of about 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters of movement, and reset, and then it breaks clean. So as far as a concealed carry gun is concerned, the trigger is perfectly acceptable. You guys will have no problems with this particular trigger over any other polymer gun out there today. So pretty excited to get on the range with this thing. We'll go ahead and let you guys know our thoughts. We'll put some rounds down range and we'll go from there. First thing I'm going to do is give a couple rounds at 21 feet and then a couple rounds at 50 feet and kind of see where the gun's at. I'm sure it'll be fine. I really don't want to take the time to make sight adjustments, so let's see where it's hitting. So good. So I would argue the gun, actually it's really controllable. It's really pleasant to shoot. That back strap safety is not an issue anymore with Smith & Wesson. This is phenomenal. So we'll run a couple quick ones. So everything's hitting acceptable, right? We're all A zone. We're not shooting groups this tight. Right, so we're gonna go for a recoil impulse and kind of get a sense of where this gun sits and how it levels back out. So the gun's fairly, I mean, it's an accurate pistol. It does everything you need it to do for a self-defense gun. The recoil management is super easy to manage this particular pistol. We're going to do it again and again and again until we get the desired results, but training is everything. So you guys need to be sure that you're staying up to date with your training. And yeah, I'm really impressed by the Smith & Wesson Equalizer TS. Super comfy little gun. Great concealed carry option, I believe. To the chest, one to the head, Mozambique. And we'll see where it's at. So. All right, guys, so now we're done at the range and pretty satisfied. This is a gun I definitely would like to add to my collection for a concealed carry gun. It's plenty accurate for a concealed carry gun. I'm not looking to put hole inside a hole, but as far as defensive accuracy is concerned, this gun tears it up. It does it all day. The recoil impulse is quite pleasant. I was surprised by that, as most, you know, subcompact guns are a little bit snappy in the hands. Compared to a full-size gun, I should say. This was pleasant to shoot. It's definitely something that is concealable, that is not the most snappy pistol in the world. Ergonomics are pretty dang good. I enjoyed them. I'm not saying you will, but I do. I would always recommend you getting your hands on it and feeling it. The sights are whatever. They work. I would like to shoot it with a red dot on top, probably, like well, Holo Sun or something like that, just to see how it does with that. But I don't imagine there's going to be any issues, as the red dot game's been pretty popular for quite some time now. So I'm sure Smith and Wesson has got that ironed out. So yeah, all things considered, pretty great little pistol coming in at around $600. Again, just so you know the difference between the TS and the NTS, right? The TS has the thumb safety. The NTS, they elected not to have the thumb safety, or no thumb safety in TS. If you guys are interested in one of the Smith & Wesson Equalizers, check us out at magnumsportsmi.com. We have an online store there, or you're always welcome to shoot in. We're on the north side of Greenville at 6227 South Greenville Road. As always, shoot straight, have fun, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you guys at Magnum Sports.